What if football gave us one more unforgettable showdown, not just a normal football game, not just another World Cup match, but a collision between two football nations with completely different identities? Portugal against Argentina at the 2026 World Cup. Just think about that for a moment. The lights inside a packed stadium, tens of thousands of fans screaming from the stands, millions watching from their homes. Social media exploding before kickoff even begins. Every football page posting predictions, every fan arguing in the comments, because some games are big, some games are huge. But then there are games that feel bigger than football itself. Portugal versus Argentina would be one of them, because this match would not simply be about 3 points or qualification. This would feel like history meeting history. One nation carrying European football excellence, another carrying South American football passion. One side known for tactical discipline and technical brilliance, the other side known for intensity, emotion, and football magic. And even before the players walk onto the pitch, there would already be pressure unlike anything else. Because no matter what happens in football, certain names leave shadows behind them forever. For more than 15 years, football lived under two giants. Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, two players who changed football forever, two players who divided fans all over the world. And even if the 2026 World Cup belongs to a new generation, their legacies would still be standing over this match. People would remember the endless debates. Who was better? Who carried more pressure? Who changed the game more? Who had the greater career? Suddenly those arguments would return again. Not because Ronaldo and Messi are necessarily the center anymore, but because Portugal versus Argentina automatically awakens those emotions. Football fans never truly forget, and that alone would make this match feel special. Now let's imagine the game becoming reality. Portugal enters the tournament looking dangerous. Because when you look at their squad, you realize something immediately. Portugal may not always get the same attention as some other football nations, but player for player, they can compete with anyone. Their team is filled with talent. Players comfortable with possession. Players capable of changing matches in 1 second. Players capable of creating opportunities from absolutely nothing. In goal, Portugal would likely trust Diogo Costa. A goalkeeper with composure under pressure. A goalkeeper capable of making huge saves when his team needs him. Then comes the defense. Ruben Dias leading the back line, strong, aggressive, a leader. Alongside him could be defenders capable of dealing with fast attackers and difficult situations. On the left side, Nuno Mendes would provide speed and energy. Because modern football isn't just about defending anymore. Fullbacks have become weapons, and Nuno Mendes can become exactly that. Then we move into midfield. And this is where things become interesting, because Portugal may have one of the most technically gifted midfields in world football. Vitinha, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, players who don't simply pass the ball, players who control games, players who make defenders uncomfortable. One pass suddenly becomes two passes suddenly become movement. Movement suddenly becomes danger, and before opponents understand what happened, Portugal is already inside the penalty area. Then comes the attack. Rafael Leo, fast, explosive, direct, the kind of player defenders hate facing. Because defenders like predictability. Leo gives you chaos. One moment he looks isolated. The next moment he is sprinting past 3 players, and that can destroy teams, but Portugal also has a weakness. Sometimes they struggle when matches stop being tactical and start becoming emotional. When games become battles, when structure disappears, when everything becomes chaos. And against Argentina, chaos is always possible. Now let's talk about Argentina, because Argentina is different. Argentina does not simply play football. Argentina feels football. Every tackle matters, every pass matters, every challenge matters. The emotion around the national team is unlike almost anything in sport. Pressure in Argentina is enormous. Fans expect victory, fans demand passion, fans demand sacrifice, and strangely, that pressure often makes them stronger. Argentina has built an identity around fighting until the very end. Even when games become difficult, even when situations look impossible, they somehow survive. We've seen it before. Moments where Argentina looked close to losing. Moments where people doubted them, and somehow they found solutions. That's dangerous, because talent alone doesn't win World Cups. Mentality wins World Cups. Now imagine kickoff arriving. The referee blows the whistle. Immediately both teams look careful. Nobody wants to make the first mistake. Portugal begins controlling possession, short passes, movement, patience. Argentina stays organized, waiting, watching, studying. Portugal slowly starts growing into the game. Bruno Fernandes drops deeper. Bernardo Silva starts finding space between the lines. Argentina begins chasing shadows. Everything looks under control. Then suddenly, One interception changes everything. Argentina wins the ball. One pass, two passes, three passes. Now Portugal is running backward. Suddenly the entire stadium becomes louder, because that's football. Everything can change within seconds. And now the match becomes open. Portugal attacks, Argentina counters, Argentina attacks, Portugal responds, the rhythm increases, the pressure increases, fans stop sitting in their seats, commentators start shouting. Every touch suddenly feels important, then individual battles begin appearing everywhere. Rafael Leo against Argentina's defense, speed against discipline, creativity against organization, then midfield battles begin. Bruno Fernandes trying to create space, Argentina trying to close every angle, every player fighting for control, every player trying to dominate, and then there is another factor people often forget: set pieces. World Cups are not always won through beautiful football. Sometimes they are won through tiny moments. A corner kick, a free kick, a header, a mistake. 1 second of poor concentration can destroy 90 minutes of hard work. That's what makes knockout football terrifying. You can dominate a match, control possession, create chances, play better football, and still lose, because football doesn't always reward the better team. Football rewards moments. Now imagine we enter the second half. Players begin feeling tired, legs become heavier, defenders react slower, small spaces begin appearing. This is where matches become dangerous, because one player can suddenly change everything. Maybe Rafael Leo receives the ball in open space. Maybe Bruno Fernandes delivers a perfect pass. Maybe Argentina discovers one opening. Maybe a substitute enters and changes the game completely. Because World Cups always create heroes nobody expected. Every tournament gives us new names. Unknown players suddenly become stars. Young talents suddenly become legends. Nobody expects them. Nobody sees them coming. And suddenly the whole world knows their names. Maybe Portugal discovers their next superstar here. Maybe Argentina creates another hero. Because football never follows scripts, and that's why people love it. Now imagine the score is level. 85 minutes. The stadium is shaking. Fans cannot breathe. Players are exhausted. Every challenge feels bigger. Every pass feels heavier. Nobody wants extra time. Nobody wants penalties. Because penalties are different. Penalties ignore tactics. Penalties ignore possession. Penalties ignore statistics. Penalties become fear against confidence. Pressure against composure. Heroes against heartbreak. One kick can create history. One kick can destroy dreams. Now imagine Portugal standing over the ball. Silence. Then imagine Argentina standing over the next one. Even more silence. Millions of people watching, nobody blinking, nobody breathing. Then the ball hits the net, or maybe it hits the post. Maybe the goalkeeper becomes a hero. Maybe a young player writes history. Maybe one nation explodes with joy. Maybe another nation falls into heartbreak, because that's football. And that's why a Portugal versus Argentina match at the 2026 World Cup would feel unbelievable. Not because of tactics, not because of statistics, not because of predictions, but because football's greatest moments happen when nobody truly knows what comes next. And now the biggest question of all remains: if Portugal actually faced Argentina at the 2026 World Cup, who would win? Would Portugal's talent and balance be enough? Would Argentina's mentality and fighting spirit be too much? Would the game be decided in normal time, extra time, penalties? Drop your prediction below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, because football always gives us another story waiting to happen.